Well, as mentioned, the 41st Nedbank Golf Challenge has just concluded, and this year's winner was none other than Max Homa. To help us look at the event of the past week at the Gary Player Country Club, we have roped in respective golf journalist at that, Michael Vlismas, who is in the Northwest province, where he was covering the NGC. And he joins us via the telephone right now. Michael, can you hear me? And welcome to Sports Live.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be with you.
Yeah, let's start about how the course was and which players do you believe adapted to the conditions well?
The golf course played typically strong like it usually does. It is a very challenging golf course, and it was very interesting to hear the likes of Max Homa and Justin Thomas, who've never seen this golf course before, never played it, and their thoughts about the quality of this course. You know, a lot of them speaking about some difficult tee shots out there, in particular the fourth hole, a very tricky, the third hole, a tricky tee shot there, in terms of the small greens and being able to put it on the right place in the greens, and then also the wind that swirls here. You know, the Gary Player Country Club is called a caddy's graveyard for a reason, and that's because the wind changes so quickly and club selection is so important. So yeah, I think the golf course played very, very strong. Max Homa himself saying not the kind of golf course you want to play, having had 5 weeks off, which is what he had, but nevertheless, he handled it superbly.
Yeah, he played well all week, but what made his game, this weekend, that is, which part of his game do you believe made him get through this course with relative ease?
I think his driving, he sort of really, he didn't make mistakes. When he did make mistakes, they weren't bad mistakes. And that's really the key. He knew how to control his errors, and he very quickly learned where to miss on this golf course. And I think, that was key. He wasn't holing as many putts as he would have liked. He did have, that wonderful eagle on 9, which was the turning point. But other than that, it was really just that, his driving and his iron play was very, very solid.
Yeah, it's a tournament that has quite a reputation in the European circuit. As a result, you find that top players want to be part of that. I think probably for the reasons you mentioned earlier on about the course. But why do you believe that is? It attracts so many stars around the world.
Well, you just have to look at the names that have won it since 1981 when it started. Johnny Miller, Seve Ballesteros, Colin Montgomery has been out here, Sergio Garcia's won it, Ernie Els, Nick Price, Nick Faldo, Ian Woosnam, Bernard Langer. Big names in world golf have won the Nedbank Golf Challenge, and that's what draws these international players. They might not always make it, particularly the Americans, because of the schedule that they have, and now the PGA Tour has got an off season which it hasn't had for a very long time, which gave them this window to be able to come out here. But they know about this tournament. They've watched it in America. They're well aware of the tournament, and it really is Africa's major, and it garners international interest. So, Tommy Fleetwood, a 2-time winner of it, saying he grew up watching it in England as a boy. So it does definitely grab the attention of the world's best players because of its history, because of the golf course that it's played on, but also because of the names that have won here in the past and played here in the past.
Yeah, it's great success. But any improvements you'd like to see?
I think, you'd like to see them build on exactly what they achieved this year, and that is getting some really, really star players out there. To get Justin Thomas, to get Max Homa, you hope that, this was the perfect result for that kind of future of the tournament, because, they go back and they talk to Jordan Spieth, they talk to every other top PGA Tour player out there, and they say, "You won't believe how great it is out there." They went on a couple of game drives beforehand. They did tours of the Cape Winelands beforehand, and they absolutely loved South Africa, and have been telling everybody who wants to hear how great it is out here. And that's exactly what you want. You want them to go back to the PGA Tour and tell more of their friends, this is where you need to come and play, because having those big name players really, Max Homa is a world top 10 player, Justin Thomas a major winner, Ryder Cup star. That's what you want to see them build on going forward.
Yeah, moving slightly away from the NGC. In June, we heard the surprising merger between Live Golf, European Tour, and the US PGA. Many players complained about a number of things, including the lack of information about the merger. Has there been any information about what it would look like?
Well, it's pretty much stalled at the moment. There was that announcement made, but it was really all in theory. How it actually is going to play out in practice is a whole different matter entirely. And the nuts and bolts of that are still being put together, and nothing is very clear for any party there at the moment. Live Golf now coming with a promotion relegation tournament that they're going to hold in December now, the first time in Asia, and that's key for them wanting to get world ranking points. So they've taken that step. They're talking about opening it up to more teams as well. But yeah, in terms of what it means for the major tours working together going forward, that's still very vague, and I think that's still a long way away from being put down in sort of concrete steps in terms of what happens next. You had the U.S. Securities Exchange looking at the deal as well at one point and expressing concern. So I think still a lot of water to run under the bridge there.
Where do you stand on it? Is it a disruptor, or are you actually welcoming this possible merger?
It's an undoubted disruptor of the game, and I think Live Golf certainly welcoming the fact that they disruptors of the sport, and I think that's what they want to be. I think it needs to develop if it wants to be taken seriously. It is at this stage. It's still 3 rounds, no cut, guaranteed paychecks, and it doesn't yet have that kind of significance and that gravitas. It's got all the money, but it needs the respect that you'd want that the other traditional tournaments and the other tours do have. It's going to have to evolve in that sense, and I suppose things have got to start somewhere. But whenever my feeling is, whenever you throw exorbitant amounts of money into any ecosystem, in sport, in business, wherever, you destabilize, and that destabilization is not always a good thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, final one from me, Mike. The Blair Athol Golf and Equestrian Estate will host this year's Investec South African Open, where we have a number of former champions already committed. What should we be looking forward to this event?
That's going to be huge. An Investec South African Open at Blair Athol. It's a massive occasion. It's the National Open, second oldest Open in world golf. It's a big prize for South African golfers, and this year, the event going all out to really make all South Africans, whether you love golf or not, have a great time at that event. There's a big push to get families there, to offer everything for sports-loving families and to get people interested in the game there. So, some lovely names. Tristan Lawrence already confirmed he's coming back to defend his title. So some good South African names that will come out. You'll see the best of the next generation of the DP World Tour there as well. So I would say definitely get out there. If you're thinking of dipping your toe into a golf tournament and what it might be like, this is the one that'll hook you, because it's gonna offer a whole lot more than just what happens inside the ropes.
Well, Michael Vlismas, thank you so much for your time. That's our golf journalist, Michael Vlismas, looking at the conclusion of the Nedbank Cup Golf Challenge this past weekend.